How's everyone doing? Pleasure to be here. We have Lauren as well. I just want to say thanks for the opportunity for the shop, just to give us opportunity to talk about Worldwide and what we do here in service. I have Lauren. She is the director of the service department. Just a little bit of background on that. Lauren has been running the service department here at Worldwide BDC for the past 6 years. So I tell dealers this all the time. She has so many stores. I don't want to say the number over, like that she's talked to, that she's developed, that she's grown. And she's handled multiple store rooftops. There's so many stores that she's built that we've seen. And over the last 6 years, I feel like there's no challenge that we haven't seen. Now I know that comes off a little bit know-it-all, and I hear it. But it seems as if there's no challenge that we can't solve. And if there is something that is new, because I believe that we've overcome so much, it's just so easy for us to overcome the challenges. My name is Jason, and I got the opportunity of owning Worldwide BDC, and it's been a journey. It's been fun. We've learned a lot on the way here. So we've been battle tested. Obviously, being on this podcast right now just shows that we've built something that's great for stores, and we do have some stores that have highly benefited us, and we've benefited them in so many different ways. And we have stats, we have some data to show you, and all these data points that we're going to show you today they're all real. They're all factual. You can call the dealership. You could ask. We've developed a really good program that only not only keeps continuity within an outside BDC, but also we've been able to cultivate opportunity um, within the store. So what do I mean? So obviously an outside BDC, there's a little bit of space between the store and the outside BDC. What we've been able to do is kind of interdigitate these two things together and merge them. And we have different ways that we do that, creating processes on our side that we don't waver sometimes. There's processes we're just non-negotiable about, because we know that if we put these processes in play, they will work for the store. Now it comes off maybe aggressive, or wow, you're not going to change a specific part of your program. No, because it works. Now, does some things variables change because of each store? Absolutely. However, there's some hard coded pieces that we just believe, if followed successfully, work, and the stores that do follow reap that benefit. Lauren, did you want to add anything onto that before we jump into more of the pitch on the service part, just an overview?
Yeah, definitely. We will cover a couple of different aspects that we don't waive, especially for Ford dealerships. We understand how important it is to follow a couple of Ford processes, for example, pickup and delivery, as well as mobile services. So I just wanted to jump in on that, but we can speak more about that.
Cool. And I'll let you actually, on those points, I'll let you kind of speak to those. Go ahead. So our service BDC, hey, if everyone here, if we could just imagine just every inbound being answered, if you could just imagine from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. at night, depending on the coast that you were on, that all your inbounds are answered. And let's just say, for an example, someone calls in and they hang up a minute, maybe 10 seconds into the call, something happens, and that person's called back. We have a really aggressive response to picking up the inbound phone calls. And what we've just seen in historically is that the simple job of answering the phone becomes very complicated. One, if you have not enough service BDC people to pick up the phone, someone takes a break, someone goes to lunch, or maybe you lose someone due to whatever situation that could occur, and then just finding the right people. And honestly, sometimes it's just training the right person for the job. But if you guys could just close your eyes and just imagine, I know that every single phone call is being answered, but not only being answered, it's also my customer is given a world-class experience from someone that says the name of the store, right? So we would answer the phone and say, hey, this is Jason with Ford, XYZ dealership name. And that's our inbound just at a simplistic basis. Now we do have some recommendations. We do like a phone tree, so we're making sure we're getting the right customers to the right destination. But if you guys could just imagine just the simplicity of that, that is what the essence is. Now, when an inbound comes in, if we could just all be honest, just for the juncture or just for the conversation point, not every customer that calls in is an appointment. Sometimes a customer calls in for a status update. And a lot of the times, if maybe it's a 50-50, depending on how good the store is and how bad the store could have been. And now listen, I'm not saying when I say bad, it's something wrong. It happens more often than not that most of the calls that actually come through are status update calls because the customers have not properly been maintained. And it happens when there's so many customers, when you have a higher row count and the customers weren't properly being handled in the beginning. You get this high volume of calls where I'm on the phone with dealers and they're like, we get a ton of inbounds. It's like, do you really though? Is it that you get a lot or that you just didn't pick up the phone call the first time the customer called in? So they have to call 3 or 4 times so that one customer now becomes 5 to 6 phone calls of inbounds that you have to facilitate. So with our inbounds, we are very good at number one, setting the appointment. All the appointments that we do set are directly within the CRM, just so that everyone knows. So if it's X time, whatever services that you may have at the time that your dealership wants, we have the right scheduling tools and the tools to schedule it directly. Not only that, but if it's for a specific advisor or, hey, I want diags done at a specific time, I want oil changes done at a specific time. Hey, we just, from 1 to 2, we take break and we just don't want anyone coming in the drive. Hey, we can facilitate that and making sure that the appointments are not just set at the right times, but they're set with the right expectation. Okay. So I'm going to toss this inbound section to the side a little bit. It's very simplistic when it's followed correctly. Now, if you don't answer the phone call successfully, you're always just going to have frustration, which drops the CSI. So one, just be available. And I think that's just the first start of why our service BDC is just good in what it is. That the very baseline, we're just going to pick up the call. Now, before I move on to the email campaigns and all the other stuff that we do, I do want to touch on something quick. If it is an inbound phone call, okay, and it is a status update, we're very good at communicating with the service department. We understand that it's the service advisors are busy, and we completely understand that. I'm a believer that they shouldn't pick up an inbound phone call unless transferred to them. They should be busy. They should be working. They should be selling. They should be talking to the tech. They should be doing other things that are not related to setting an appointment or a status update, where we've created processes for the dealer so that they don't even have to call back the customer unless they need to. So during our inbound phone calls, we do facilitate and making sure that we communicate with the service advisors, giving them the right information that if we need to call the customer back, we will. Now, that's just your incoming traffic, right? I want to talk about a little bit of the traffic that maybe does not come in because maybe one, we don't have enough people. Two, we're just not making the outbound phone calls. Or three, we're just in the store, we're just not being aggressive to go get more business because we're still trying to struggle on picking up the business that's coming forward because of the process not being in place, which turns into a bad health, which now people are frustrated. The dealer's frustrated because the customers are frustrated, and it's more frustration, which brings distortion where you're not able to grow the department. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about growth now. Lauren, did you want to touch a little bit on the inbound side? Or do you want me to go straight into the growth of outbound?
Yeah, well, first of all, Zeke, thank you so much, Zeke, for presenting. Jason, yes, I did want to emphasize on a couple of keynotes when it comes to being available. Number one, we like to be available. We like to answer the phone calls within 15 to 30 seconds at max. However, we do stand around the 10-second mark of answering the phone calls. And if at any point, if like Jason mentioned, for some reason the phone call does not get connected, our agents are very quick to give a phone call back. They have up to a minute to give a phone call back. So if there's any sort of missed phone calls, maybe if it's even after hours, we do a really great job at re-engaging those phone calls. Same thing as far as taking inbounds, our agents, and I'm going to speak directly to Ford right now. Our agents are very, very, very well trained on actually taking in opportunities for uh, complimentary mobile and pickup, and also mobile services. So complimentary pickup and delivery services and mobile services do get scheduled by our agents as well. They're very quick to categorize the customer in that field to schedule them accordingly. And they also take the opportunity to book through RedCat. Like Jason mentioned, all of the appointments will be booked and they'll be booked directly in your scheduling tool. And if it's a complimentary mobile and pickup, as well as a valet appointment, we'll book those directly in RedCap for Ford dealerships.
Awesome. So let's jump into now that you guys kind of heard our inbound. Like I said, the inbound is like I said it and forget it. The outbound dealers, listen here. This is really important. Where I believe that the bar is missed. It is just missed right here. Typically when I'm on the phone with a dealer, when I start talking about the outbound and the amount of, I would just say, money that's left on the table is enormous. And maybe it's because that there is no one doing it. Maybe there's trust isn't there. But with Worldwide BDC, you can kind of build that trust. And I kind of want to go through some of these points together. But what I'm going to do, Lauren, is I'm going to kind of just say it how I feel it right now. And if you actually want to run through the points, you can. And if I miss something, you can just, add back. But our outbound services are great. We have specific type of technology to call a lot of customers simultaneously. We also have technology to call customers um, uh, in a database and send the information back over to you. But not only that, when we're making these outbound phone calls, there's a couple things that we do. One, we want to make sure that we call the previously sold customer. I can't tell you how important that is, that a first time oil change visit comes to your store, because we are creatures of habit. Maybe you're the same, maybe you're the kind of person that parks in the same spot every day or around the same area where you always park if someone doesn't take it. But typically we're creatures of habit. I know I park my car here. I know I walk into this door. I know I do this. It's the same thing with an oil change. I know I speak to the guy in the front, or the woman in the front. I know exactly where I need to go. I know exactly how long it's going to take. I know it takes me 10 minutes from my front door to this. So if I need to schedule something, you need to go to work. The first time oil change, the oil visit is extremely important because it builds the habit of the customer. So we like to call on our outbounds is calling the customer um, maybe 90 to 100 days, depending. Sometimes we can go 85. Really, that's a dealer thing, but it's like a non-negotiable for us when we do the outbound. So like I said, that non-negotiable part is we're going to do that. The negotiation part is when do you want us to do it? Now, I like to bring the customer in. Doesn't matter the miles. I just want them to come in to know that we're going to provide them with a top tier service, that we want to see them making sure that everything is good with an inspection, whatever. And we can customize these things. I know there's sometimes free oil change, but we can customize these things, make them great, and make them efficient. Also with outbounds, we want to make sure that we're calling all the recall campaigns. Simplicity, hey, let's just make sure everyone's driving and safe. Um, and that's just kind of what we pitch on the phone. We just want to make sure that your car is safe and that you're driving something that Ford wants on the road. And we want to make sure that you're in tip top shape. So we want you to come in for the recall. Now, special part orders. Hey, we didn't have the part before, but now we have it today. And we want to bring you back in. So these are just some of the areas that we like to do. Now, obviously, let's just say the customer for an outbound has not returned to the dealership in over a year. Man, you changed the oil the first time, but like, hey, where'd you go? We want to send specials out where we can do text blast and email blast campaign through your CRM system. So we're staying inside all compliance, where we're sending out offers to these customers, making sure that they know that, hey, we're still available. And we actually like to do outbound phone calls for them as well. So not only are we doing an outbound aspect, we're not only doing the text messaging, we're also emailing. So now there's like this flow of communication that the customer is still reminded and knows that we are still here and available. I think what happens is that they might see the tire kingdom sign or whatever, and whatever is around them, and they're like, well, it's an oil change. I'll just stop in here, because they're not reminded of that experience that they had before. Something I want to add, and then Lauren, I'm going to just throw it over to you because I know you have so much to say on this topic. Even before we go to that Elmhurst, if you want to actually go back, Um, here's a here's something that we've learned in CSI. And Lauren, if you want to touch on this and you want to add more to the outbound, here's something we've seen. If a customer calls in for a status update, your customer needs to speak to the service advisor. We reach out to the service advisor through our level of communication, but the service advisor doesn't respond back to us within a 45-minute period or 30-minute period. What we do is actually call the customer back and refresh the phone call. Hey, Mr. Customer, I know you were calling about something specific, whatever that may be. We just wanted to call and let you know I wasn't able to reach a service advisor. However, as soon as he gets back to me, I will call you back. Here's what this does. Number one, it limits the amount of inbound phone calls that we were talking about in the beginning, the amount of phone calls you're getting, right? Because you're making an outbound phone call, but they don't have to call in 3 times. And two, it like really service is really about customer service, because now the customer feels like, wow, these people are not, I don't have to reach to them, they're reaching to me. And that's really what we're in the business to do, is to make sure that we're developing the business and cultivating the opportunities that you guys have to create a experience that they want to come back to. In reality, just think about it. If even if I messed up on something during your service, I was walking you through staying communication. You can't get mad at it. You can have concerns about it, but at least they communicate, right? So that communication on the outbound for us is extremely important. Lauren, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, very quickly before we go into the Elmhurst case study, I wanted to also emphasize that we make phone calls and we call lists specific through FMC dealers. So we have a full team that knows how to cater to those specific phone calls that you can find in FMC dealer. So we pull all of the data, we call every single phone call, nothing goes unmissed. And we also game plan with the service managers at the beginning of the month. So they know exactly what's being sent out by us. And then also their advisors also know what sorts of promotions and phone calls are being made so that when a customer calls back in, everyone's aware of the game plan.
Awesome.
Awesome. And then I think we're coming up on 1 minute. Let's go over the Elmhurst case study, Jay.
Yeah, so Elmhurst. So just real quick, I'm gonna kind of pull this. If you guys see from January, February, look at March, you can see there's a big lift. April, big lift. This is from the outbound section. Fourth of 1,498. Now there's a little bit of a dip. We'll call it the summertime dip. And then it comes back June and it comes back July. So when we start making these outbound efforts, you can definitely see the pickup in what happens. Now, how much money does the dealer make through that? That's to be known by you guys. I hope that if we were able to send you 4 to 5 to 6 to 700 more ROs per month when your average was 1,000 before, be giving you an 80% boost, I'm very positive that there's something great there. Now, and think of it like this, even with that 80% boost, we didn't charge you more because we did it, because we're still managing the amount of inbounds that are coming in because you're paying for that outbound service. Just looking at the stats, if you guys can see that we've also kept in line the show ratio by still making so many outbound phone calls, the show ratio is still there. Lauren, do you want to just jump in with the last little bit of time we have?
Yep, very quickly, just the key insights that we received from this data. The appointments grew, like Jason mentioned, from 1,097 from January all the way up until 1,722, and we're actually on key to surpass that this upcoming month in August. The no-show rate, like Jason mentioned, remained the same, and then also we'll see that in the beginning of the month, the outbound count is lower, and that's because the store realized, hey, we really need to ramp up the outbounds. So they actually asked us, hey, do you have an outbound program? We said yes, and we absolutely went ahead. And as you can see in March, we went ahead and we got them on the outbound program. And that's exactly how we see the increase throughout the couple of months.
Cool.
That's about it.
Um, mhm.